Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. My name is Bill. I'm from Warm Strong Adventures and like to thank you all for coming in today for today's episode. Today's episode of Banter with Bill will be about the pros and cons of solo cruising. Solo cruising, something that's near and dear to my heart. I've done a lot of it and it's near and dear to my heart. First, I'm going to go ahead and run down here and welcome everybody in. Cruise Nuts, first in the house. Welcome in, Cruise Nuts. And then we have Clock Family Adventures. Thank you, Mike, for coming in. Come on down, Fats and Trey. I've been watching Fats and Trey. They just put out like some new videos. I've been watching those videos. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Andre Southgate, welcome in. Andre, I'm thinking about putting some money down on Usyk. The odds aren't good enough, but we'll see. I got Usyk in the fight. And I am Betty J. Gathers. Welcome in. Embarkation Nation is in the house. Embarkation Nation, they are going live immediately after me at 6 o'clock. They're doing, I believe, a trivia show. So it's pinned up to the top. The link is pinned up to the top. So we are going to go over there and raid their place right after this show. Let's see, did I miss anybody? I think that's everybody. I hope everybody's Thursday went well. I know it's winding down now. I hope it went well. Mine was pretty good. You know, again, even though I've been doing these lives for a little while now, I still get nervous before I come on. Is everything gonna go right? Last week I had a disaster. Last week I had my microphone. Hopefully everybody can hear me fine. Hopefully I had no problems. Last time my microphone was breaking up all last week. So that was a distraction. But people hung with me. I really appreciate all you guys. Exploring with Eric. Welcome in, my friend. Thanks for coming. Well, we're going to go ahead and we might as well go ahead and start getting into the topic. We'll take a break maybe a little bit later. But again, this is going to be the pros and cons of solo cruising. And, I know a lot of you probably don't solo cruise, but hopefully there's some people out there that solo cruise or are thinking about going solo cruising. And hopefully I can convince you to try it. Even if you're married, a little time apart is not going to kill you. And it allows you to evolve, not being dependent on somebody else, making your own decisions. But we're going to get into that. Law Jones, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Trisha Natural, thanks for being here. Welcome in. She's listening in. I appreciate that. The Bud Files, welcome in. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down a list of reasons why. We're going to start with Betty. But I was married. I was married at one time or another, Betty. So I got a little insight to marriage. Not a lot. 9.5 years. I got a little insight into marriage. What I'm going to do is go down a list of pros and cons. And what I'll do is one pro and then one con. One pro and then, well, you get the drift. And we're going to work our way through my list of what I think are the pros and cons. If you guys have any suggestions or any ideas on it, feel free to type it in the chat, leave a comment. People coming in for the replay, give me what you would do as far as your pros and cons for solo cruising in the comments if you're coming here for the replay. Well, we're going to start with number one for pro. Pro, it's you got freedom and independence, meaning that, you get on a cruise ship and you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. And there's a lot to be said for that. Again, we all know, Betty, I was married before. Marriage is a thing of give and take. You happy wife, happy life. Well, again, that's true. But with that comes compromise. When you're solo cruising, there is no compromise. Either I want to do it or I don't want to do it. you know what? I said I wanted to go to the show, and at the last minute, I didn't want to go. It's no problem when you're going solo cruising. So freedom and independence is a key to being a solo cruiser. Now, let's get it. Hey, Keisha, welcome in. Thanks for coming in, Keisha. My Wild Home, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you so much. The number one reason, normally I don't go, the top ones first. I decided to hit you with the top ones first. Keisha, I love Keisha comments. I love them. Anywho, I'm gonna hit you with the top ones first. And the top con against solo cruising is the cost. My goodness. Cruise lines, especially cruise lines. When you go cruising, they hit you if you're a solo cruiser, you have a cabin. It's based on double occupancy. So let's say the price of the cruise is $500. You pay that $500. Well, two people, that's $500 a piece. That's $1,000. If I cruise solo, it's $1,000. Not all cruise lines. There's a couple of cruise lines out there. I think Norwegian and Royal. I think they have a 150% 150% increase in price. Scott, welcome in. He's on Luminosa right now. Let me finish talking about this, Scott, and I'm going to talk to you real quick. So that's a hit on somebody's wallet. I mean, if you're going solo, that's definitely a hit on your wallet. You don't have to pay the taxes, port charges and taxes twice. So whereas everybody pays port charges and taxes on it, for a solo cruiser, you only pay that once. So it's not quite, the 200% total price. You get a little savings, but for most people, I know one YouTuber says that it should be a federal crime to charge 200%. Scott, controversial cruising. I want to catch up with him real quick. This is my partner in crime on Wednesdays. We do a show called Cruise Talk. Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time and 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. He is on a cruise ship right now, the Luminosa, headed to Alaska. Well, they probably haven't pulled out yet. But come check us out. We love talking cruising. We talk all kind of stuff in cruising. And I believe this week, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to be how to eat like a celebrity on a cruise ship. Is that possible? Can you eat like a celebrity on a cruise ship? Come check us out Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time and 4 p.m. Pacific. And I'm just going down the chat. Trish, would you say there are more men or women solo cruisers? Ooh, good question. Good question. I would say but again, I'm a little biased here. I would say there's more women. And I say that because, if I'm talking to a guy or a male, I'm not really asking their, are they married, single? I really don't care, but it doesn't matter. But, women, I kind of do that. So if I sit down talking to a bar and somebody comes over and starts talking to me, I want to find out whether or not they're with anybody. Because the one thing you don't, again, it's the real world. So the one thing you don't want is drama on a cruise ship. And people start drinking and people start, all the crazy stuff. So, hey, let's find out. But I would say there's more single women on a cruise from what I could tell. From what I can tell. That was a good question. A lot of women, Keisha, Trish, a lot of women they go, like with, their girlfriends and things like that. There are a ton of single women on a cruise. And even on the longer cruises, I found out that there were like just more women. Just women on top of women. It was a lot. Will Cooper, welcome in, my friend. I appreciate you being here. And again, if you're just coming in, if you don't mind hitting the like button, I'd appreciate that. It means a lot to the channel. It's supposed to help with the algorithm and help the channel grow. If you don't mind sharing it out, share it out. So maybe we can get a couple more people into this chat for next week. For the next, I don't know what the next topic is going to be next week yet, but maybe we can get some more people in here and we can discuss more cruising topics. Look at my partner in crime, Scott, Controversial Cruising. Thank you so much. That, as I see, I'm going to try to GoFundMe, Scott. This paying 200% is killing me on Carnival. Scott gets it. Scott, he does cruising. He's solo, but a lot of time he has friends. I don't have friends. He has friends, and they go. He goes together, and so that cuts down on the cost. And that's a good way to do that. If you're a solo cruiser. I appreciate that so much, Scott. You don't know how much that means. So we're going to go back to our list, pros. The next one's going to be self-discovery. A lot of people get dependent upon their partners and other people, just going through life itself in general. You need somebody to, have you ever asked somebody, hey, what do you want to eat? Oh, I don't know. What do you want to eat? I mean, and you go there, you get dependent. You want somebody else to make the decision for you. When you solo cruise, solo travel, you don't have that. I mean, you have to make the decision. So you really get to discover yourself as far as what you like, what you don't like. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? For me, again, most people that I travel with would not like the way when I leave a cruise ship, because I will walk through a neighborhood where in a port in a heartbeat. Not all of them, but most of them. I'd walk through, grab a bite to eat with the locals, whether I speak the language or not. I got Google Translate, and in most ports, my phone works. So I got Google Translate. I let me go ahead and communicate the best that I can. And people love it. Whenever you try, if you ever go to Mexico, any place that speaks like Spanish, and I'm not going to just say Spanish, French, whatever island you go to, whatever language they're speaking, if you try to communicate like in their language, they appreciate. You see the biggest smile come on their face. The next time you're at a dinner table, find out where like your head waiter is from. Learn a couple of words in his language, and watch the smile that it puts on his face, his or her face. It's a lot. So that self-discovery, it means a lot. I mean, for me, I could feel my growth. Going to Australia with nobody to lean on, nobody to help me with a decision, or if I'm having a problem, don't know where my hotel is or where. So now I gotta. It forces me to reach out and talk to people, strangers in a foreign land that I don't know. Luckily, they spoke English there, so it wasn't a problem. Law Jones. Oh, I hate that conversation. Scott, same here. You can always room with me, Bill. Oh, Scott, I remember that. But see, then I gotta quiz you. Do you like the lights on at night? Do you the TV? Do you like it hot? Do you like it cold? I mean, there's so many things. I've done that before with like people that I really didn't know. I knew, but I didn't know, and I mean, it was a tough one. I'd rather pay the surcharge. Paul, PSV Odyssey, welcome in, my friend. Welcome in, driving and listening. I appreciate it so much. So that self-discovery is a lot. Now, a con. Here's a con, and this is going to be a con for a lot of people, especially like introverts. It's the potential to be lonely. If you don't like dealing with people, strangers in particular, there's a chance that you can get lonely. I mean, you're out there by yourself. You don't know anybody. There's a possibility that you could get lonely. And then what do? You're in the middle of the ocean, foreign land. What do you do when you're lonely? Dinner time. Dinner time, a lot of time cruises will sit you at a table full of other single cruisers, or you can request to sit by yourself, but you're still near people, and you have to you have to somehow have this conversation because somebody's going to speak to you. You're on a cruise ship, somebody's going to start talking to you. And what do? I mean, if you're an introvert and don't want to talk, there's a potential of being lonely. Now, if you want to do that, that's fine. But again, some people could like, no, it was so boring. There was nothing to do. There was ton to do. You just didn't want to be involved with the people. So that is a big consideration for a lot of people. Where are we at? Down Under Cruisers. Welcome in, my friend. I appreciate you being here. And so that was 2 of 2. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna still go down the list. But Scott, if you're still here, how's the ship? Tell me about the ship. He's in Seattle right now, getting on the Luminosa. I believe he's in port. They haven't taken off yet. Scott, tell us about the ship. Tell us, what do you think of the ship? Does it have an Italian flair, like they promised me when I first went? Eric, exploring with Eric. He gets it. No hablo inglés. He gets it. That's what he says when he doesn't want to talk. Eddie Lugo's in the house. Welcome in. You know, I go over to Paris. I learned the phrase "Je m'appelle Guillaume." My name is William, and that's about it. Do you speak? No French. No. Parlez-vous français? No. Anywho, I digress. Eddie's in the house. I'm just going down here in the chat. Keisha, I thought I was an introvert until my first cruise. For some reason, you know, Paul, I am kind of the same way. I'm kind of an introvert and I don't talk to people. I will speak to people, don't get me wrong, but I don't venture out too much and go out of my way to meet people. On a cruise ship, it's kind of just the opposite. You know, I sit there and you know, start a conversation with anybody, go to the bar and you know, oh, what are you drinking? Oh man, that's a good drink. I'm gonna try that one next. You know what? Did this and I'm just running my mouth. I mean, it could be the liquor too, people, but I digress. But again, on a cruise ship, I'm more outgoing. I still won't get up and like do karaoke. Some people on this next cruise are trying to get me to do some karaoke. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. Everybody's saying hi. I'm still up with the chat. Thank goodness. One of the pros for solo cruising is self-care and relaxation. Again, I don't know how many people here are you know, ever traveled alone. But there's something about a peace. There's something about a peace when you're by yourself, when you're in your cabin, when you're on your balcony and you're reading your book. Nobody's there to disturb you. Nobody to ask you, well, what time you want to go to dinner? Nobody. You want to go to the show tonight? Nobody to disturb you. Imagine being married and your partner is asleep. You know that peace and quiet that you get when they're asleep and you're wide awake. That's what it's like to cruise solo. And for me, you can't beat it. You can't beat that. Even though when I'm on a cruise ship, I do get out there and mingle, but again, I'll have my downtime where I want to be by myself. One time I had a table for it was like 8 to 10 people. It was a dinner table. None of the other singles showed up. The waiter, would you like to move? Ask me, would I like to move to another table? You know what? No, I don't. I'm fine right here where I'm at. And that way I know I won't be late to the show. That's what inside joke between me and Destination Fun. But again, it was peace and quiet. I was by myself. I enjoyed my dinner by myself. I wouldn't want to do that the entire cruise. But yeah, I mean, again, I enjoyed it. Bruce, Ocean, welcome in, my friend. Uncle Dave also made it in. Thank you so much for being here. Eddie says I'm an extra introvert. Extra extrovert. Gotcha. I can believe that, Eddie. I can believe that. Yeah, when you're on the cruise ship, The party revolves around Eddie. I'm gonna go down and catch up on the chat. I wouldn't do karaoke if by myself, but if I did it twice when I went with my friend. I wouldn't get up on the stage by myself, but again, if I went with somebody and it was a group of us, maybe 2 or 3 of us went up. I mean, the idea was somebody was supposed to be Gladys Knight, and then we're going to be the Pips. I might get up there and do something like that. Maybe. Bill, are you saying my hubby is okay with me solo cruising so he can get some peace and quiet? Keisha, if I was married, yes. I mean, not all the time. Go. You got to enjoy you're still you. You have to take care of yourself without somebody else being there. I think it's healthier for a relationship. Again, as Betty pointed out, I'm no longer married, so maybe that wasn't the best thing. But I think there's good to be in some separation, not a lot, but some. Uncle Dave, I love solo cruising. You know, the itinerary is all mine. It's all yours. You pick the ship you want. You pick the itinerary you want. You pick the excursions you want. If you don't want any, that's fine. So yes, Uncle Dave, the freedom of solo cruising is amazing. The Z show is in the house. Here's another solo cruiser. Exploring with Eric. Do you having dinner by yourself or with a random draw of strangers? I don't mind eating by myself. Whoops. Or people. I don't like to eat with strangers though. I do. I mean, again, at times, I do like to eat with strangers at times because you get to hear their story and somebody to talk to. What did you do today? I mean, it's friendly conversation, and they sit you there with other singles, so you're all kind of in the same boat. It's not like they sit you at a table full of married people, and it's like, hey, who's going to the bar tonight? Well, again, you're a bunch of married people. You may not get the same response, but I don't mind being around with strangers. I think it's a good idea to have people around your own age. I kind of like it. Just don't give Eddie your room number. I know, right? I know, Eddie. I I can give out my room number on the booze cruise. Oh, Eddie said he's got yours already. Watch out, Mike. Eddie's going to show up with some pineapples. Betty, I feel like I'm a marriage specialist. I feel like it. Come talk to me. Anybody got a problem? If you're married, have a problem, come talk to Bill. Bill will work out your problems. Next year will be two. You've been here. Okay, I did that one. My last Will Cooper. My last old cruise I ate alone, but for all but one meal, and that's because a couple asked if they could sit with me in a crowded buffet. Yeah, I've had that. Very rarely in a buffet do I have people sit down and eat with me, but I've had that happen. And again, I don't mind. Love a ship that has a silent reading room. Just let me have some space, some peace. Then I'll be more friendly and outgoing. And the library is usually that place. Go down. I'm still catch up on the chat. Controversial cruising. This doesn't surprise me one bit. Strangers, 100% love meeting new people. Eddie, Alice would not let me cruise by myself, but when we both cruise, some shows or activities we do by ourselves. Okay. That's good. A little away time. It never hurt. Uncle Dave, I really like meeting people. I'll talk to anyone. I've met a lot of people that I'm still friends with today, and I'm the same way. I got people. I have people right now. I still talk to and chat with, and when you're going on your next cruise and things like that. Made it down to the bottom. All right, let's get back on topic here, because that's going to bring me up to my next pro, which I think is a pro. It's meeting new people. I had some of the greatest conversation with people when I was going to Australia. I met so many Australians, and just sitting there and learning about Australia, and this is not this year, but the last year, 2022. I left Seattle and went to Australia, and learning about Australia, and I was just shocked at some of the things, some of the knowledge that I learned from the people there. Just as friendly as you can be. The running joke with them was to try to get me to eat what's this? I forget what it is. Real salty food, and they say, "Oh no, you put it on real thick and heavy," and which is not the way you eat it. And uh, I had a blast and just meeting new people. And whenever you go on a long cruise on Carnival, they call them journey cruises, with these extended cruises. You're with a group of Vegemite. Thank you, Betty. The Vegemite is disgusting, and they were trying to get me put it on real thick. You're supposed to butter some bread, some toast, put it on really lightly, and eat it. It's real salty, real nasty. Sean, if he's still in here, he knows what I'm talking about. Um, it, it, I'm gonna get back to meeting the people. Meeting new people is one of the things that I love, especially with the longer cruises, because you get to become more intimate as far as knowing people. And we had like card games we'd meet up at, and meet up in the casino, and go for dinner, go to shows, and we just like a group of us. And I mean, it was so much fun. Um, I really enjoyed that. I mean, it's my longer cruises by myself fall into the top 4 of my cruises, cruise experiences. So meeting new people, again, probably not the best if you're a real introvert. Probably not the best, but again, I think is you should do it. When you get off the island, talk to some of the locals. They'll sit there and tell you their story. They want to hear about your story. You're from the big old U.S. of A. They want to hear about it. And I'm not talking about the people in the port areas, because these port areas, all they want to do is try to sell you something. If you get outside that area, people, you just go sit down in like a local restaurant. People want to chat to you and talk with you, and it's a lot of fun. Keisha, no, she did. Keisha, I'm gonna stick up for Betty. I don't think Betty did. You? Okay, and now we're gonna go on to the next con. We went. That was a pro, meeting some new people. Con. We're gonna go into safety concerns. On a cruise ship. I mean, there's always, whenever you're traveling, there's always a certain amount of safety that you have to consider. Going to foreign ports, you have to consider it. But even on a cruise ship, what happens if you fall down the stairs and break your leg? There's no, I mean, Carnival is going to do the best they can to help you. They're not going to dedicate somebody to you, but they will do the best they can to help you. But there's nobody to help you with, uh, that. And being solo, there's a lot of that. You go to a foreign country, if anything happens to you, who's going to be there to try to help you? God forbid you go there and get drunk and get locked up. Well, who's going to try to get you out? I mean, what are who are you making your one phone call to? If you get that one phone call, I mean, having a partner, having somebody with you, that is a major plus. The having somebody having your back, somebody who has your interest, because the cruise lines, I mean, again, they can only do so much for you. So that's a, for me, that's a reason. And that's why you'll see a lot of people, especially like when you go on solo cruises, you have the meetups and you talk about, well, hey, who's going to port? Who's going here? Who's going there? Hey, can I go with you? Where I'm by myself too. So you usually get a group and go together, and it makes it easier. If I were to go to Germany, I would go with Darian, Magnificent Germany. I don't, his channel is so long. Darian, everybody knows who I'm talking about. Darian, Magnificent Germany. Because going over there with the group would be safer. I still, again, there would be times I probably would go out by myself, but going over to a land where I don't speak the language and going with a group, I can see how that can be beneficial. Traveling with Eric B. Welcome in the house. Welcome in, my friend. So yeah, again, pros and cons. I mean, the safety concerns is a major one, because you do need somebody to watch out for you, and that's in life in general. Imagine if I had nobody here, I didn't have family, I didn't have friends, and something happened to me. Well, imagine that, but being in a foreign country, being in a foreign place, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. We're gonna go back to another pro. What's a pro? One of the things that I love about traveling solo and what I do now is I get to tailor my experience my way. If I want to fly to Australia and cruise back, if I want to cruise over to Australia and cruise back, you know what I do? I do it my way. I do it whatever I want to do on whatever ship I want to do it on. And there's a lot of freedom in that. And I enjoy I enjoy so much. I was looking at this comment up here. Thank you for spelling the name correctly. Just kidding. Anywho, I enjoy that so much. Imagine, you have a spouse, and I mean, you can't decide on how long you want to go on cruise. Maybe I'm retired. Maybe my spouse is still working. Well, she can't go. She has to go to work. She has a limited amount of time off. I get to plan my own trip the way that I want to do it. When I go down to Dominican Republic, Puerto Plata area, Amber Cove, there's a place I used to go down there, near there in Puerto Plata, and I've been going down there since before they built Amber Cove, the port. And I used to hate it because I fly in, I'm going that way, and they had all the road construction. But anyway, I digress. When I went down there, this last time to Amber Cove, I caught a cab and went down to my old hangouts where I used to go. I probably wouldn't have done that if I wasn't being a solo cruiser. I mean, again, maybe they would want to go where I wanted to go, but they probably want to go swimming, go to the beach, go, see the island and see things. They don't want to go to this little, rundown town with, I shouldn't say it's a rundown town, but, a rundown town, and go to a bar and sit there and have lunch, have some drinks. They want to see something. They want to do, and I don't blame them. If it was my first time down there, I would do the same thing. Uncle Dave, I always find other solos and couples and get to know to share a cab or hang out at the same place for that reason. Also, it is, and again, people do it all the time. And some people don't like sharing cabs, but when you get off the cruise ship, everybody's going to like the 3 or 4 or 5 same places. So if you get a cab, that's one way to cut the cost down. And again, if you don't mind, for people just coming in or people that been here for a while and forgot to do it, if you don't mind hitting the like button, I'd appreciate it. It's supposed to help with the algorithm and hopefully help the channel grow. And if you don't mind sharing me out, I appreciate it. Maybe we can get a couple more people in here next week and continue these conversations on cruising and travel. My topic might not always be cruising. It might be just traveling. I want to be a world traveler, like the Adventures with Eric B. Travel Adventures with Eric B. He's a world traveler. If you ever want to travel the world, check out his channel. Also, right after this show, we're going to be going over to Embarkation Nation. Embarkation Nation, they're having a trivia show. Normally they do it with Controversial Cruising also. But tonight, Controversial Cruising is going on the Luminosa, so I don't think he's going to be able to make it. They might have a special guest. So go there. They're having a trivia show right after this one. The link is pinned up to the top. So if you check at the top of the chat, the link for that will be there. And when you go there, just make sure you say a strong raid so they know that you came from here. I would appreciate it, and I'm sure they would appreciate it. Embarkation Nation. There's three channels actually that I love, and they're growing fast. That's Embarkation Nation, Destination Fun, and Controversial Cruising. And I love the conversations that we have when I have with those particular channels. I love all the channels, but those in particular, I really love those guys. We seem to think alike. Yeah, Mike Clock too. You too. I got you too, Mike. Well, Mike is the channels that I spoke about. They need watch hours. They need Controversial Cruising needs subscribers and watch hours. Destination Fun is she's getting real close to having 4,000 watch hours. So if you can go over there and run a playlist for her, it'll be appreciated. Embarkation Nation, they're trying to get their 3,000 watch hours. So if you go there and run some playlists for them, it'll be so appreciated. Again, the more people, we're all in this together. If we all get monetized, we can all make money from YouTube. YouTube doesn't have like small pockets. They have enough for all of us. So the pennies they're throwing out to me, they can throw out to everybody else out there. So and Embarkation Nation, not that I'm going right back to the subject in a couple of seconds. Embarkation Nation and Mike Clock and Destination Fun, they also have a show to help channels that don't have 1,000 subscribers. So if you're trying to get subscribers, reach out to them. They have a show, I believe it's on Saturdays. Embarkation Nation's in the house, so they can drop the link and let you, tell you more about what day it is and what time it is. You have to sign up with them. What they'll do is bring you up so you can talk about your channel and share your channel out to more people to try to get you more subscribers, more watch time. So let's go. Where was I at? There's Clock. Next show is Saturday, September 9th. Embarkation Nation, I believe you can drop the link. I believe you're a mod in here, so you can drop the link. Being a solo cruiser or a solo traveler, you run into some challenges, and a lot of that has to do with like language barriers. So everything you do, you have to do by yourself. So you're trying to figure out, which subway, which train do I take? How do I get to this bus? Get to this place? The bus. You don't have anybody there to help you out as far as having a second pair of eyes looking at any problem that you may have. So whatever challenges you may have, logistical challenges that you're in a foreign country that you may have, it's easier when you have two people looking at the same thing. And for me, that's a con traveling solo. If you have luggage, you got to, everything you do, you have to do by yourself. There's nobody else there to help you. So again, for me, something like that would be considered a con. Now, maybe other people might think otherwise, but again, when you're traveling with somebody else, hey, I got to run in here. Can you watch the bags for a second? A solo can't do that. If I got two big bags and I got to go to the restroom, two big bags are coming with me to the restroom. No, people, I'm not going to ask a stranger, hey, can you watch my bag? First of all, you're not supposed to be doing that, but I wouldn't do it anyway. They wouldn't get anything but dirty clothes, but yeah. Okay, there it is. The Clock Family Adventures, Destination Fun, Embarkation Nation show. Saturday, 9 p.m. will be the next show, 6 to 8 Eastern time. If you want to join, send an email to michaelclock08@gmail.com. And that way, if you're a smaller channel and trying to get your 1,000 subscribers, reach out to them. And they had one on the other week, and I mean, you could just see how people were interested in that topic and wanted to reach out to the channel and join. For September 9th, the slots are already full, so they'll book you in for a later date. But again, get in while you can, because the slots fill up fast. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to a pro. Pro. And it kind of goes back with being able to plan the freedom and stuff like that, but spontaneity. being able to the spur of the moment decide you want to do something. Literally right now, I could plan a cruise for tomorrow, no problems. I don't have to work, pack my bag, I'm gone. Solo cruises can do that easily. When you have, you're traveling with somebody else, more than likely that can't happen. Imagine me uh, flying over to Paris, and this is going outside cruising. And I was supposed to go to Paris and stay there, but I decided I wanted to go to Germany instead. Darian said he's going to be in Germany. I want to go there instead. When you go solo, you could do that yourself. I mean, the spontaneity of being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, uh, you can't beat it. For me, I mean, to me, that's like one of the greatest things as far as solo cruising is the spontaneity, to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Uh, uh, think about I mean, I'm going by two personal experiences. Uh, you've been out there day drinking all day on a cruise ship, and now your partner wants to go to the show. You've been drinking a day drinking all day. You don't want to go to the show. Well, you got to come on. Let me get up. Let me get dressed. Let's go to the show. When you solo cruise, you miss that show that night probably. You might make the casino, but that's a different story. Kelly King, welcome in, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Now, this is going to come into, and I don't know how many people have ever, I don't know how many people have ever had this problem, but when you're traveling, and it's not just traveling, but anything, but just, we're going to keep it to traveling, cruising. Have you ever got tired of making decisions? And this is a con. Again, sometimes you want somebody to make a decision for you. You're really sitting there. You've been on a cruise ship for 6 days. You had all the food you want. What do I want to eat? What do I do? What do I want to do? If you have somebody there with you, they can bounce out ideas off of you. They can, suggest, hey, let's go on this excursion or that excursion. So you don't run into that decision fatigue as some people do. It's not a major thing for me, but sometimes you just, man, what would that person do? What would this person do? Instead of having to make that decision yourself. Plus, when you make the wrong decision, you have nobody else to blame. Will Cooper, what I like about Row is that the app pre-fills most of the schedule the week before the cruise, so you can plan out your days ahead of time. Not possible on Carnival. You're right. That would be that would be, to me, that would be like the next logical step for Carnival. Will, because I mean, again, we had this conversation before in somebody else's chat, whether or not they like paper or digital, the phone app. I love the digital app. With paper, you wouldn't be able to do that. But I love that idea of being able to. I tried it before. Like, man, I want to know what's going on. They don't make it easy to find things like what night is. Well, Elegant Night, it's kind of, it's going to be second sea day or the first sea day, or the second night. But what about when the 80 nights is, or the silent party, or the white party, or whatever? It would be nice to know that in advance, and instead of find out when you get on the ship. Keisha, yes, I wish Carnival would do that. Will, yes, I do too. Cruising on the high seas. Welcome in. I'm very sorry. I am very, very late. Rob, you are never late. You are always on time. I appreciate you stopping in, my friend. Rob is he's going on a booze cruise with me in October 29th on the Carnival Glory. There's a group of us. There's about 20, 22, 23 YouTube creators from this community, cruising community, that are going to be on that cruise. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of like I'd say average size channels between 500 and 5,000 range of subscribers. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and can't wait to meet Rob. Rob says he has the most. Rob said I think he said he has the best cabin on the cruise ship. So we'll find out about that. Law Jones, that's helpful. That would be a helpful app to have. See, Uncle Dave knows you're never late. I appreciate that anybody showed up. You guys, I got 14 people in here. I'm so happy to have you guys in here. I don't know what to do. Also, if you have not hit the like button, make sure you go back and hit the like button. Appreciate it so much. And share me out if you can. I appreciate it. Let's go. Let's find another pro, because we're winding down now. We got about 14 more minutes. And remember, after this, we're going to all go over to Embarkation Nation. A trivia night. So we're going to go in there and show them some support. And it's a lot of fun. If you went to last week's show, I believe it was last week's show. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I think it was last week's show. It was a lot of fun. And I'm going to go over there. I'm going to have some fun doing some trivia. I tried last week. I got there late because I had something to do as soon as I got off. But I'm going to be on time, or I'm going to try my best to be on time, so I can get into the questions, because I like to win. I'm competitive. Best cabin on the ship? He says, yes, I do. Uncle Dave, I want to meet most of you when you come to New Orleans. Uncle Dave, I can't wait. I'm going to try to I want to get down there 2 days early, just so I can, go meet people. I want to get down there a couple of days early. Rob, I'm not going to go back over that. I mean, some of the cost and loneliness possibilities, there's a few. There's a few of them. Uncle Dave, pro, sleeping in. Yeah, but that's freedom. Sleeping in when you want to. Having the whole bed to yourself. Thank you so much. That's blessings on top of blessings. That is a good one. Law Jones is talking about safety at the ports. That was another one. Having somebody help you in case of emergency. I mean, another con. So there's a few of them. We're going to hit another one. And I think this is a good one. It gives you an opportunity to enhance your social skills. I think really that's a really good thing. Being able to deal with people, with strangers. I've always had to deal with strangers my entire life, and different times, and through my work, I used to have to deal with strangers all the time. I didn't realize it was an art to dealing with strangers, but it is. And being on a cruise ship, being out in public helps, but we're specifically cruising because it's so close. I mean, you almost can't run and can't hide. I think it's a good skill that you can work on there. Whether you're talking to the waiter, the waitresses, the crew, the people at your dinner table, the people at the not the magic show, at the shows, at the comedy club. Of course, not when the comedian is talking, but it's a good way to practice your social skills. And for me, that means a lot. Just not, you don't want to be awkward, especially if you have to deal with people on a regular basis. So it takes away you from being awkward when you talk to them, and it becomes secondhand that you're able to do that. And this probably be the last one, but one of the cons is, and this is a big one, and this is one that I think about a lot when I cruise, and that's the lack of the ability to share an experience. You know, you go on these cruises, you go to these ports, and you go by yourself. Um, and I'm gonna go back to myself. I went to Alaska. I did a helicopter ride to Alaska. We took a helicopter ride, not to, I'm sorry, scratch that. I took a helicopter ride from Juneau, Alaska to Mendenhall Glacier, where it landed on the glacier, and we were able to get out on the glacier. And I got to drink some glacier water. So I got down on my hands and knees. It's tough getting back up, and had a sip of glacier water. And my son was with me. It was so much more fun sharing that moment with him because he did the same thing. Um, it was so much fun having him to share that moment with, that I would have missed out on that if he wasn't there. I still would have did the same thing, but I wouldn't have been able to share that moment. And that's why, a lot of guys, a lot of people, if you're traveling with your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your friend, anybody, if you're traveling with somebody else, that's one of the biggest reasons or biggest cons that people that go solo have, is not being able to share that experience. And you guys, whether you know it or not, is you guys are lucky to have somebody in your life that you share that, can share that moment with. And I'm a bit jealous at that when I go solo sometimes. I do when I hear somebody say, I have to ask the wife if I can go. I do. At that point, I start laughing because, well, that's one of the cons for me. One of the pros that I have. Anywho, Rob on the cruise on the high seas and travel, double the points on RCL, Royal Caribbean Line. Yeah, your status on Carnival, even though I pay for 2 in my cabin, I only get loyalty points for 1. So, and their loyalty points are how you move up in status as far as loyalty points. When you first come on, you're a blue card. After your first cruise, you're a red card. Red card to 24 days on a cruise. 24 to 74, you're gold. 75 to 199, you're platinum, and over 199, 200 and above, you're diamond on Carnival. What Royal does is, if you go on a cruise, a 7-day cruise, on Carnival, I would only get 7 points. But if I did that on Royal, I would get 14 points. So you can see how fast you can move up the ladder and get the perks of a higher level. So that is, I wish Carnival would do something like that. Uncle Dave, my social skills came natural. Not everyone is like that. Cruising solo helps the skill. It does. It really does. Now you have to, again, you got to get a little uncomfortable with it, but it really does help. Will Cooper, I'm more basic with my excursions when solo. I did the most adventurous thing on my last cruise because I was with my best friend. Best friends will do that to you. Best friends will have you doing things that you never thought you would do. The best friends will have you doing things, but again, you get so excited because you did it, but it's like something that you wouldn't have got out your comfort zone. I never, if my son wasn't going on that trip to Alaska, I never would have took a helicopter ride to the glacier, and it was the greatest excursion I ever went on. I never would have did it without my son. And I'm so glad I was able to share that with him and do that with him. Uncle Dave, hard getting back up. I feel your pain, Bill. Uncle Dave, I'm out there with all these people. I did it, but it was like, oh my goodness, I hope I don't fall. When you get on the glacier, they give you little sticks, little walking sticks, if because it's uneven and stuff like that. And I'm like, nobody else was taking one. I'm like, I'm not taking one. I can do it just like everybody else. It's like, boy, I wish I would have had a walking stick. So that's funny. Oh, don't tell us we lucky now to be married. You are lucky. I'm in a way. You are lucky. Having somebody to share life with and moments. That's, man, a lot of married people take that for granted. They think they're always going to be there. It's always going. Oh no, you don't take it for granted. But some of the solo vloggers will still do certain things alone that they rather do with someone special for the engaging content. Yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'll do some things that I wouldn't do for some content. But yeah. Law Jones, hey Bill, good job on the pros and cons of solo cruising. Oh, thanks, Law Jones. I appreciate that. Eddie Lugo, agree with Will Cooper. Thanks, Eddie. Exactly. My bestie got me on a cruise ship. Yep. Some things you'd never do. I mean, I could go down a list of things that my best friends and probably vice versa that I never would have done if it wasn't for them. But then I'm so glad I did it. Now there've been some things that like, man, I wish I didn't do that. But I mean, most of the time, I really appreciate doing that. We've got about 4 minutes, about 5 minutes to go. So I'm gonna start winding this down. Thank you so much. I hope you guys appreciated the conversation of the pros and cons of solo cruising. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Warmstrong Adventures on Facebook. All my social media is Warmstrong Adventures. Reach out to me. Anything I can help you with. I'm a travel agent. I just did that, and I'm working on being a travel agent. I really don't book people. I've kind of booked myself a lot of times until I get more comfortable with it. But again, if you ever need help, I can try to help you that way. Any questions about cruising, traveling? I haven't traveled quite as much probably as Eric B, but I've traveled to Dubai, Paris, Rome, Beijing. I've been around the world a couple of times. Australia. Z, my best friend told me to ride the Flow Rider after an all-day drinking. Z, and it looked like it. I saw that video. If people get a chance, go watch the Z video of him on the Flow Rider. You will enjoy it. Trust me, people. You will enjoy it. Uncle Dave, a good friend, got me started cruising back in 2016. Now I'm cruising more than he does. Yep. You never know. You never know what you might like if you don't try it. It's like me eating vegetables. If you don't eat vegetables and if you never tried it, how do you know you don't like it? Thank you, Rob. Rob is also a travel agent. If you need a travel agent, reach out to Rob. Also, at the end of this, we are all going to go over to Embarkation Nation. They're having trivia night tonight, and that's coming up in about 2 minutes. The link is pinned up to the top. Just click on that link. It'll take you right over there to that. Also, next week, I will be, next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m., me and Controversial Cruising will be doing a live cruise talk on how to eat like a celebrity on a cruise ship. And then next Thursday at 5 p.m., I haven't come up with the topic yet. By the end of this weekend, I'll have a topic. If you have any suggestions for topics, come on by. Leave me a message in the comments. Hit me up on Instagram or whatever. Come on by and let me know if it's any topic you want me to talk about. Rob has a confession. I have a very, very bad addiction to cruising. It's easy to do. It's easy to do, my friend. It's easy to do. And one of my good friends, Betty J. Gathers, one of my moderators. I appreciate if you guys go check her out. She has a show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 a.m. where she talks about life, especially life for people like 60 and over. But it's life in general. If you go there, a lot of younger people go there, and they really get a lot out of it. So check her out. And Sunday at 12 noon, she has a premiere. Betty, I do believe you have a premiere Sunday. So check Betty out Sunday at 12 noon for her premiere. Keisha, as always, I love your comments. Appreciate you being here. And with that, I think we are going to get ready to end this broadcast. And make sure you hit the link up at the top and go over to Destination Fun and Embarkation Nation and their mystery guest. Who could it be? We'll have to see that shortly. So I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for being here.
dun 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 dun.